Couple of guys about wanting to make sure that you guys end this first half here with a good taste in your mouth going into the break. Just what are you wanting to see from the group tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see us get the result we want. Been pretty happy with the process even last night, judging our team on the competitiveness and being responsible defensively. Scoring hasn't come in easy for us here recently. So putting the whole package together tomorrow and playing a good hockey game that we can be proud of, and then hopefully getting the result.
I'm sure you're sick of us talking about the power play, but just are you seeing positives that you like, things you want to take out, or is it still just the inconsistency that you talked about?
There's some inconsistency there for sure, but I like going to the process of the last couple of games. I think we killed most of the first power play ourselves yesterday, and then I like the second one. The two in Detroit were outstanding. That's kind of so. If I'm going to I can't carry the baggage of 45, 50 games into every game, right? I think you have to reset and take what you can learn from the night that you have and what you liked about it, and try to implement that more often and get more consistent with it. And I think Detroit, we should have had 2 power play goals, and last night we could have had another one. But we also have to find a way to get a couple in the back of the net here. I think that goes a long way. They get rewarded for their hard work and for doing the right things in their execution, and then it'll start to snowball. Right now it's kind of a snowball going downhill the other way, and we need to find, have a big night one night and get it turned around and then try to repeat that performance. But I look at the Detroit game and say, yep, there's a lot of repeatable things there, a lot of things we liked, and you got to come back with it and do it again until you get rewarded.
Kind of on that note, every win, every loss is different, but has there been a common denominator with the losses that you've had? Has it been something that you've seen that's kind of crept into each one of those, or is it something different each game?
I think there's a little bit of something different each game, but I've said this before that in some in our recent stretch of play, now we've won and lost and we're 500 or whatever over the last it's a large stretch of games now, and to me it's we're I liked our conscience and the way we defended yesterday. I liked the way we did it in Toronto. I liked the way we did it in Detroit. So I think we're stringing together some good defensive games. I can throw the Ottawa one out of that because I didn't like that at all from an energy standpoint, and from we just didn't do enough. But I think there's a drop in almost every aspect of our game that could be 5 or 10%, and it's leading to a lot closer games and leaving games on the table and losing points. And so, we have to find a way to elevate again. I think it's in sort of the dog days of the season and going into this break, and we're missing some personnel, and some days it's been a tough schedule and low energy like yesterday, but every team is dealing with that, right? So hopefully we can bounce back tomorrow, and then we come out of the break rested and ready to go and kind of get ready to start the second half.
Do you believe that the team just needs to simplify their game a little bit, maybe make less passes and try not to overcomplicate the process, especially on the power play?
No. I think that the process is good, 5-on-5, even offensively, but there's an element of competitiveness and work that's involved that we're putting in, but we haven't scored easy in some of these games, even 5-on-5 on some of our chances. I think we did enough last night to score 1 or 2 and win the hockey game. We did not, so that it goes that way sometimes. I think we've run into some hot goaltending on some nights. I think we haven't been great defensively some nights. When it comes to the power play, I think it's much more involved than that. Yeah.
What has the player reception been to some of these difficult conversations around the power play?
It's been good. Like I said, someone asked me this morning, I think or last night, is the team down? Sure, at times it's down, and then we try to get them back all together and get back on the same page and give them something to grab onto when it comes to the power play and what we can build off of. And then they've responded with some good power play games. And again, I think it's it'll ride the roller coaster a little bit, but I think, we've gone through the frustration and worked through it and turned the page multiple times now. It's not that it's not going to creep in, because they want to have success on it, but it's a 5-man unit, 5-man process, and I think the better we are connected as that 5-man group, the more success we'll have, and we just need to put a couple in the back of the net and let it go from there.
Gavin, it's been a while since he scored a goal, and he's one of those guys that he's been here all year, but he could go to the AHL during this break.
Yeah.
Is this more of like he maybe needs the break just because this is probably his first full pro season, or kind of how do you got to work with that?
Yeah, we haven't talked about that, but I think, all of our guys, based on our schedule and guys that are playing every night, it's probably a welcome break for some to try and get rested, try to get healthy, try to get refreshed, and for what's going to be a real tough stretch coming out of it. I think we're 27 games in 52 days, so as much rest and recovery as we can get during that time, and then still getting back to work and getting on the same page and getting dialed in again for the start coming out of the break is really important.
Is there a concern for the guys that are playing in the Olympics that are not necessarily getting that break, and to have that time to rest and?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, but that's part of it, right? Everyone's dealing with it. It is what it is. You play the schedule that's laid out in front of you, and for some guys it's rest, and so for some guys it's going to be some intense hockey.
With some of the games where there has been a lack of energy at points, is that something you've even needed to raise as an issue with your players after the fact, or have you found that they've self-assessed that issue themselves?
Well, I think they know. They know, they're the first ones to know if they don't have their legs and they don't. But again, that's not exclusive to us. Sure, you'd love to say, I bet you if you talk to every coach and every player in the league, there's going to be nights where they don't have it, and that's why teams are winning and losing. One team has it, one team doesn't. Pretty easy to pick the winner, right? So it's just the way it is. You're not going to win every game, especially when you don't have energy.
A few more guys.
I'm sure you'll miss us asking this for 2 weeks, but anything new on Logan? Any updates there?
Nothing except his he's back on the ice now, making progress. So that's good, and he'll be a guy that uses this break to his advantage, right? He's planning on getting on the ice, staying on the ice, and working his way back to hopefully join the team at some point in the near future if everything goes well. And so we feel confident in the plan, and he feels good about it, and he's starting to ramp up here again.
Olympics give you a chance to just go back to being a fan of the game here for a couple weeks?
Yeah. It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to watching it, actually.
Canada, I'm assuming?
Sure.
Thanks.
Obviously, it's going to be helpful for the team as far as injuries, anybody kind of banged up. You play a pretty physical game, so for you personally, is this something that's going to be good to kind of just regroup and reset and rest your body?
Yeah, I think so, absolutely. I think it's quite a long time, so I think taking the time to just kind of let your body heal and kind of get a little mental break from the game, which will be good. And then we have a week or so of practice, which will be nice before we play again. But yeah, I'm sure everyone's it'll be nice to just kind of sit back and relax and kind of get a breather just with the schedule and how many games we're playing so often. So it'll be nice for sure.
Speaking to that schedule as well, pretty condensed after the Olympic break, what have been the conversations about just that stretch of games and kind of, I guess, turning a page on what maybe hasn't been a good stretch of games for you guys lately?
I don't know if there's much conversation about it. I just think we look at the schedule and see when you're playing and when you're practicing and not really thinking too much about it. But this is my first year and the schedule's pretty condensed, so not a regular normal season, but it's been good. I think it's nice to just play and not practice as much than you normally would, and just kind of hop into games. And it's I feel like there's pros and cons to both sides of it, but I think it's been good so far this year.
Is it nice to have that option? Coach has definitely done a different routine this year, as far as practices go, a lot more optionals, a lot more days off.
Yeah.
Has that obviously been helpful for this condensed schedule so far for you guys?
Yeah, I think, when guys are playing a lot of minutes, it's nice to just kind of have the day to get in the gym and get what you need and kind of let your body recover. And then for the guys that don't play as much, get on the ice and just get your touches in. And like I said, I think there's pros and cons to both things. But they're doing a great job of making it work. So it's been good.
What can you say? Is there a common denominator on these few kind of up and down losses that you guys have had? Is there something that has kind of crept back into the game that continues in the losses? Or is it something that just, it's been off nights or just miscommunications?
Yeah, I don't know. Like last night, I thought it was kind of just an up and down game. I thought everything was quick in the neutral zone. It was pretty back and forth. I feel like every game is going to be different against every team, right? I mean, we go into Detroit and we win whatever it is, 5-0, and we know that they're going to come out hard and offensively, unfortunately, we couldn't put one in, but the goalie did a good job, and it seems like, we're going to go through it. I feel like no team's going to be perfect, and you're not going to score 5 goals every night. So, there's a lot of good teams around the league and a lot of good players, and I feel like we're just trying to do our best every night, no matter who it's against. So.
I feel like it's pretty easy for us in the locker room to see the connection between you and Parker Kelly and how much you've kind of leaned on him, but just speaking about what's going on out there on the ice, how much have you been able to kind of lean on him as a player, and what has he been able to kind of teach you?
Yeah, he's awesome. Unbelievable guy. He does everything the right way, and that definitely doesn't go unnoticed. You need guys like that, and he's having a heck of a year, and he's producing offensively, which is really important for us. He's just a guy that you look at and you're like, wow, he does everything the right way. He does it 100%, and he's a huge part of this team. So kudos to him.
That's funny because that is the common denominator that everybody says.
Last game here coming up tomorrow before heading to the Olympics. How hard is it to not be looking forward to heading overseas there?
I mean, not hard. Like, we're here for a reason, and obviously the game yesterday went how we wanted. So I think everybody wants to get a good game before the break.
Is that something that if you guys that last game before you have time off, is that something you kind of sit and think about whether it goes well or not? That you guys want to make sure you like you just said, end it with on a positive note.
Yeah, to get the good memory of the games and get a good feeling, and of course every game is play for the win. It doesn't matter if it's before the break or after the break. Win is win.
And then for you are heading over to the Olympics. Just has that set in for you yet that you're going to go represent Finland on the Olympic stage?
Of course, you always want to play good and excited about the Olympics. So expect to have a good game.
As far as your game in the last couple, you've kind of seen an improvement and uptick in your play. What are you hoping to provide to a team Finland overseas?
Kind of same thing, special teams, especially PK. PK is being good here, one of the best in the league. So I think I can bring something for the team Finland on that one too, the energy and all that. What bring here.
I was talking to Lecky about this last week about just that Finnish style of hockey. Is that what you just described? Is that kind of the Finnish school?
Yeah, kind of. And what the hockey is back home, it's a little different because the ice is bigger. So it's kind of fine line between the playing Finnish style and North American style. I don't know.
You talked about ending things off on a positive note as well. One of those positive things, I think, for the bottom six has been Parker Kelly. Just what can you say about what he's been able to contribute, especially in the last stretch of games?
He's been unbelievable, and of course the success has been exceptional this year, but everything what he brings to the locker room, off the ice and on the ice, it's huge for us, and I think everyone is happy for him.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Announcement today, theme night coming up in April, Dungeon Crawler Carl. Just kind of tell me a little bit. It seemed like you were pretty excited about that announcement.
Oh, I have. I've been trying to get everyone to read it. I'm on my second time through it, so I think I'm just finishing the Gate of the Feral Gods book now. I've tried to get anyone and everyone who's played video games and wants something I guess, different to read. But no, I'm pumped. I followed the author Matt Dinman on Instagram. I think last year when I started reading, he followed me back. We haven't really conversed. I've commented on a few like updates and things, and he usually likes it. So I'm excited to meet him and just pick someone's brain of how they create that kind of storyline. So yeah, I don't know if a lot of people have heard about it. Obviously, not the maybe the mainstream read for a lot of people, but. I mean, I haven't turned a TV show on all year. I've been reading, a bunch of different series, and books have kind of taken over my personality for the last, 20 months, I feel like.
For people who maybe don't know much about this book, can you kind of give us like a brief synopsis?
Brief? I don't give anything brief in my life. To not give it away, I guess the best way to put it is the world's taken into like a survivor type lit RPG story. So there's only a certain amount of people that survive a kind of like an apocalypse type scenario, and they get kind of like an AI, open speaker message that says there's staircases to enter this dungeon. If you enter it and you complete and pass all 18 levels, you can survive. So the main character Carl enters a dungeon with his cat, and it's pretty much like the start of a video game. You get into like your own little safe room, and there's an NPC there. He pretty much explains the rules and what's going to happen and what you got to do. And pretty much they go out on level 1 and they got to gain experience. So you're pretty much in a game, right? They live their life. They have their own HUD and their health and their statistics and their chats and all that kind of stuff. And then as the game goes on, they interact with non-NPC mobs. So you kill like a goblin thing, and they get experience points and so on. And then you'll get achievements for doing things. You killed your first monster, you defeated your first boss, and then they get rewards. And the game AI is really funny. He kind of prompts them and makes fun of them, and then also has pop culture references and things like that. So it's kind of like in video games when you get achievements throughout a thing. You might upgrade your ability to kick harder, punch harder. You have your own statistics and things like that. So it is a video game world, so you can heal yourself. Your health gets low, you got to take a potion. So it's very much if you play video games and lit RPGs and things like that. And there's obviously millions of other people that have entered the dungeon from all parts of the world, and they got to go through the storyline and survive it and stuff. So, I think it's like a level or 2 per book, and then it's just funny. Like I have so much fun. I laugh out loud. I did audio the first time through, and now I'm doing whisper sync, where I'll read on my book at night or my Kindle, and then when I get in my car in the morning, the audio kicks back on. But unbelievable, so much fun. I really recommend it.
Have you gotten any of the